Hello and welcome back to Boxing Social in association with Betfred. My name is Ayman Khan, and today I'm joined by, on a sweltering Monday afternoon, the one and only, the mighty Celt, Tyrone McKenna.
It may be sweltering over there, but out here it's just grey clouds. It's not nice.
Unlucky over there, Tyrone. But you're back in action August 6th against Chris Jenkins. We'll get to that shortly. First of all, Tyrone, I know you're a gamer. What are you playing at the moment?
Just always caught. Really, that's about it. It Takes Two is another game I'm playing with the kids, but it's just a wee fun game. But yeah, mostly caught.
Getting those wins in on Warzone?
I'm trying my best. I think I'm getting carried more than anything, but the new map's good. Fortune's Keep, so let's keep me entertained during camp. Me and Mick Conlon slaying.
You and Colin in the team, are you?
Yeah, of course.
Who's better?
He carries me.
Colin's better, is he?
Yeah.
What's his loadout?
Do you know what? He has a serious. Like, he goes over to camp. He's got his computer over there. He literally just lives in that thing. I'm up and down. I'm doing a lot. I don't have the time that he has to put into this, basically. So that's my excuse.
I can imagine Mick getting out the sniper, no scoping from across the map or something like the 360 no scopes. Mick Conlon. Tyrone, I know you're a boxing fan as well as a boxer. Some fighters aren't like that way, but did you catch Chisora at the weekend against Pulev getting his revenge?
If you did, great fight. I mean, they both are passive, both of them, but I made an entertaining fight. I was happy to see Chisora get the win. I'm a big fan of Chisora. He's same mentality as me: war, brutality, loves fights, and never shies away from a tough one. So yeah, I was glad to see him get the win. It was a good fight.
Just picking that back up there, some internet issues. I think it was Tyrone's side with all the gaming. That's probably myself.
I'll tell the reasons. Internet, don't you blame it on me.
We were just talking about Chisora there and just how much you feel he's got left. He's given a lot to the sport. With the win, that means there's options on the table for him. But what do you want to see next for Derek Chisora?
Everyone's saying like, oh, he should retire and stuff like that. If the man feels he can carry on, he's happy to fight, and I mean, the man loves it. He loves fighting. So why not continue until he thinks he's done? It's his decision. He knows what his body can go through more than anyone. So ultimately up to him. But he is looking older and older every time we do watch him. But he's still entertaining, and he's still relevant. Obviously, people tune in to watch his fights. Next, I don't know. Everyone's saying Wilder and stuff like that. I mean, I think Wilder, he gets hit too much to go in with a man that punches as hard as Wilder. But I mean, there's still some entertaining fights out there for him without having to fight Wilder.
Let's get to you then. August 6th, as I mentioned, back in Belfast, moving up to welterweight this time to take on Chris Jenkins. Talks about that move to welterweight then, Tyrone.
Yeah, I'm buzzing. Do you know what? Even before the Prograis fight, I was thinking about moving up. I just felt like it's time to move up. I'm 6'1". I do struggle to make a weight. Not insanely struggle. Like I could once I get that opportunity with Prograis. I heard Prograis was maybe going to fit me. I said, right, okay, that's too big of an opportunity to miss. So I'll stay at that way for another fight, and if I beat him, I'll stay for another few fights. But obviously got beat. I didn't go my way. That week, I struggled to make a weight a bit. And I just decided, me and my nutritionist decided that maybe I should move up. And I think it's a great idea. I feel much happier. Like I wouldn't say I was depressed in training, but like I was like, oh, it's even worth it. And stuff when I was trying to make weight, because all my attention was just focused on losing weight and what weight am I, and what weight am I after training, what am I losing during the day, and that's all my focus is on the previous camps. And this one now, I can relax a bit I'm still eating very good. I still have to lose a bit of weight, but it's not as stressful, and I'm going to train happier, and I'm training harder, and I'm eating more, and I feel good in sparring. So, and I've always, before I fought previously at 140, I always felt unbelievable in sparring. And then when I got in and fought at 140, I always felt like something was lacking or something was missing, and I always felt like I was better in the gym than I was in a fight. So I'm hoping maybe it's the 7 pound difference that is the difference, and we'll see it August 6th. A more stronger and healthier and better Tyrone McKenna.
Yeah, just let's elaborate on that. And in terms of especially your assets, you're saying you're starting your camp and getting ready for that date there. But with this move to welterweight, in terms of your training on a day-to-day basis, do you feel like the assets that you bring into the ring, they're not affected and they're sharpened by you being a bit more natural or not needing to cut down on the weight now?
Yeah, I mean, if anyone watches me spar, I spar. I know my fights are high intensity as it is,
Yeah.
but my sparring is even more intense and even higher work rate. And I always felt like, fuck, I can do 10, 12 rounds non-stop in sparring, and then when I get to fight, I still go high pace, but it's nowhere near the high pace that I would set in a spar. I'm always wondering, is it because of the weight and how much it takes out of me that fight week? Um, the power, I think my power, I don't have as much power when I get down to 140. So these are kind of things that I think will just benefit me come fight night. I think I'm just going to go in feeling unbelievable.
And Chris Jenkins is the opponent. Talks about Chris as the opponent and what you've seen of him. We've seen a lot of him, obviously, on these shores, and he's more experienced campaigning at welterweight. We saw him fight Ayman recently, and Dongo, Marku, and now he's coming up against yourself. But what do you make of Chris as a fighter?
Chris, he's a game man. He never turns down a fight. He's any fight that I've seen him in, he always comes, gives a good performance, gives a good solid performance where he I've never seen him really get out of class and absolutely battered. Like even Marco, he was in a lot of people's eyes winning that fight before he did get knocked out. Um, yeah, I think he's a tough fighter, and a guy that I always like watching fight. He fought one of my friends. He fought Paddy Gall 2 years ago. Um, and it was a good fight. Yeah, he's a it's a good fight to gauge what way welterweight's going to be for me, and I think it's a fight that definitely can win it. But it's a tough fight for the first maybe 4 or 5 rounds, and then I think I'll start to gradually get them.
A lot of good fights that can be made in the welterweight division, especially over this side of the pond, especially over the other side of the pond too. Just talking of this side of the pond, you got your Conor Benns, McKinsons, Congos of the world. What do you make of the current crop over here?
After this fight, just line up whatever English man is the best over there, and I'll fight him and beat him to a pulp. But yeah, do you know what? I didn't really because I was like welter. I never really went into the rankings and seen who's welterweight, who's what weight, and stuff like that until I moved up. And I went into the world rankings there, and I was like, "Fuck me, it's a who's who of the division." Like it's stacked, and in the light welterweight division, there's maybe 5, 6 fighters. I was like, "Fuck, they're all good." I went in, there's about 15 top level fighters at welterweight, so I'm excited. There's a lot of people I can call out on Twitter, call out on Instagram, call out on TV interviews. So the word's my oyster after this fight.
Well, I'm going to start here, Tyrone, and get your thoughts on some of the fighters. I've got to start with Conor Benn because he's been making the most waves over here. What have you made of Conor Benn's progression and the trajectory he's on?
Unbelievable transformation. Like, see from the first fight you saw him, I remember looking at him going, "Fuck me, he's shit. He's not great." And now he looks like an animal. He's hitting hard. He's fast. He's accurate. He's relentless. He's exciting to watch. He's a guy that I love watching. Um, and I like his attitude. I mean, he's all out attack. He's a man after my own heart. So, but yeah, like the transformation on that man is phenomenal. I think he's one of the most improved boxers in the UK. Um, And as you know, he's very exciting to watch because he has serious punch power. But I'd love to fight him as well. I mean, there's not much I wouldn't want to fight, but him I think would be an exciting fight, an exciting war where he would go for it, I would go for it, and we'll see who's the fittest and who's the hardest cunt there.
Michael McKinson, another one as well, who's been doing well. He'll be fighting Virgil Ortiz very soon. Two fighters as well. They're looking to kind of step up to the next level. What do you make of that fight and those two fighters as well?
Ortiz I haven't even really watched Ortiz. I just know from everyone talking that he's supposed to be this unbelievable fighter. But I can't really comment because I haven't watched one of his fights. Michael McKinson's very awkward. You think you've got him, you watch him on TV. I know what he's like. He's probably like a Trump McCullough where you watch him on TV and you go, do you know what, I'd kill him. And then you jump in the ring and you don't know what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's landing punches on you. So he would be a very awkward fighter. I hope him all the best in the Ortiz fight. I mean, I know he's up against it. But he's been up against it before and he's won. So hopefully he does his job.
If we rewind, you mentioned in this interview, Prograis and how it went and having that experience of having the fight with Regis. Just kind of reflect on that fight and what you learned about yourselves and what you take really from it.
That fight annoyed me because I went in with probably the hardest hitting man in my division. And I said before the fight, I'm going to take his best shots. I'm going to laugh at him. I'm going to keep on going forward, and then I'm going to take him in the deep waters at the end. And I took his best shots. I got dropped in the second round. I laughed at him. I kept on going forward. And I think he started to fade and was starting to get into my kind of fight where I was going to take him in the deep waters in the last half of the fight. And I got stopped over a cut that was at the side of my eye. The blood was running down there. It wasn't even that bad of a cut. Like I've had much worse, and I got stopped over that. I wasn't going to say I would win the fight, but I would have made it a massively entertaining in the last half of the fight. But yeah, Sammy, I mean, he's world class. I mean, I learned that I can take a serious shot because that man hits. I've never felt power like it, even in his jab hand. And to take that kind of shot, I had left in the second round and get up and smile at him. It shows that I'm a tough man and I can take the best of the heaviest hitters in the division. So yep, I enjoyed it. I was enjoying the fight. That's an I was just enjoying the fight, and then I got stopped. I think the experience of the doctors over there, they were too quick to call off a fight. They didn't even let my corner man work on my cut. And then during the rounds, the doctor was jumping in instead of letting Pete talk. He was taking the whole corner time and saying it's his time. It's not Pete's time. It's all just madness from the doctors.
Just kind of when the whole kind of the fight with you and Prograis kind of materialized off of the, like you mentioned, the Twitters back and forth, and you looking to with the welterweight scene call out some fighters over Twitter as well, have that interaction. But after kind of the bell rang, did you have that time to speak to Regis, get some advice from him? What do you think about kind of what did he say to you really after the fight?
I just said, "You a tough motherfucker." He just that's basically all he said. He just said it was tough. He said he knew it was going to be a tough fight, and he was just surprised with the shots that he was hitting me with, and I was captain coming forward, and he said about me laughing at him when I dropped him and stuff, or he dropped me and stuff, and stuff like that. But he's a nice guy. I kind of knew he was a nice guy from before because we were giving each other back and forward, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, I mean, he's world class. He's probably one of the best in the division. So there's no shame in what happened.
A few things I want to get your thoughts on before I bring it back to you. You're very much a man who capitalizes upon any point of spotlight that you do get and tries to capitalize it on the fullest. One man that does that as well is a certain fella called Jake Paul. He is fighting a boxer this time round in Hashim Rahman Jr. Your thoughts on that one, Tyrone?
You know what? I like Jake Paul. I mean, he gets a lot of hate and a lot of criticism, but he steps up to the plate every time. He's doing good things for boxing. He's given, I think I've seen in one of his fights, he took a pay cut and gave all the undercard an extra 50 grand or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, so he's looking after other fighters. He's got Serrano, probably the biggest payday a female's ever got. Um, yeah, he's good for boxing. He's entertaining. He's doing it right, and now he wanted to fight Tommy Fury. Fell for him, and now he's fighting someone who's 12-1 boxer. So he's got balls to burn, and he's training like fuck. As if you see on his videos, the man puts it in the gym. Like he's not just coming in here and messing about. He's serious about the sport and wanting to actually do something on it. It's like I don't think he's the skill level to go as far as he's saying. He wants to go world champion and stuff like that. I think that's madness, but you gotta admire the man.
Anthony Joshua takes on Alexander Usyk in a rematch to try and reclaim those world heavyweight unified titles. We've seen the face-offs. A lot of people take a lot of things from the face-offs. I wonder if you have, and if you haven't, how do you think Anthony Joshua, if he was to win, does it this time around to beat Usyk?
Face-offs, I don't know. Some people like doing face-offs, and other people can't. Like it really doesn't matter. It matters what happens in the ring. I think face-offs are people looking into it too much. People can look unconfident and then come in and be killers. I mean, it happens time and time again. But Usyk, I think Usyk's just so good at boxing and so smart at boxing. He's just all wrong for Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua's a bit too flat-footed. He's a bit too robotic, and Usyk's just fucking too elusive and too fast in his feet and too good, quick hands, and like I would fancy the likes of Tyson Fury, someone more athletic to fight Usyk rather than Anthony Joshua. I would love Anthony Joshua to win just so the Joshua Tyson Fury fight happens, but I don't know. He needs to. I was going to say he needs to put pressure on him and go for the big punch, but that'll play into Usyk's hands of his boxing skills. He's fast, his feet is very accurate. He's smart. He's got good boxing IQ and generalship. So, like that's just going to fall on him if he rushes in. He's too slow feet to rush in like that. Whereas Usyk, I don't really know what Anthony Joshua can do to beat Usyk. Basically, he needs a big punch.
August 6th sees you return to, like I mentioned, action at the SSE Arena in Belfast. Headlining the card is Michael Conlan, your good friend, as you mentioned, who's coming back off of a defeat to Leeward, which will no doubt be a fight of the year contender when it comes down to it at the end of the year. But Miguel Mariaga is the opponent for Michael, which is a very good opponent considering the way that the fight ended. What do you see for the trajectory of Michael Conlan?
Yeah, I just want to say that it shows how much balls that Conlan has and how much belief he has, because to come off that kind of loss where you do get knocked out and then to pick a man that, I don't know, he's like 90% knockout rate or something like that. It's a high knockout rate. It just shows that he isn't fearful. He doesn't think, oh, fuck, I have a bad chin or anything like that. He's like, listen, that was a fluky punch. I'm going in with another heavy hitter and I'm going to prove that it was a fluke. So it's ballsy. It's a tough fight. I mean, people are probably looking at it going, he's been beat eight times, I think. But it's all world class people. It's beat him. I mean, Lomachenko, Walters, Valdez. Like it's all high level to beat him. So Michael Conlan has been a game to beat this man. I believe he will. I believe Michael Conlan's the kind of guy that kind of defeat is going to drive him insane in training. He's going to put it in 3 times as hard. He's going to do extra work on top of extra work. He wants to come in and prove something.
Well, you and Michael will be stepping into the war zone, as it were, on August 6th. But for you, what's your prediction for your fight? Tell me, when you step through the ropes with Chris Jenkins, what happens?
What happens? I think it's going to be a good 3-4. It's kind of like last year. Good 3 or 4 rounds of giving it back and forth, and then I think I'm going to just outwork him, outpressure him, outpace him, and down the final stretch, I think I'm going to win a handy.
Yeah, I mean, whenever you fight, like I was there for you fighting Jose Felix, which was just an incredible all-out action for as long as it lasted. Well, yeah, for as long as it lasted in the ring, it went the full distance, obviously, but it's just a great fight. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing you back out in the ring, Tyrone. So
I'll be more of the same. Don't worry.
no worries, Tyrone. Thank you so much for speaking to Boxing Social. All the best.
No
We'll speak
worries.
soon.